Well, sorry, mainstream medicine, but I don't like your treating with reductionism and treating the symptom, because the symptom is just a message. So why do we treat root cause?
I like that. The symptom is a
It's
message.
just a message.
Yeah, very good.
Warning, warning. As a medical doctor, I must inform you that there are side effects to this coaching session. Beware. It may enhance your self-esteem, cause you to experience vibrant health, encounter long-term weight loss, heal damaged relationships. Warning, there are side effects to this coaching session. It may increase your enthusiasm for life and bring about hope. It may cause you to have productive and optimistic thinking. It could even help you not allow messed up people to ruin the rest of your life, and help you realize the masterpiece that you are, and empower you to be the boss of your brain. Warning, these side effects may be long-term. This is Dr. Isabel from Doctoronamission.com.
Hi, Magic. How are you doing?
I'm great today, Dr. Isabel. How are you?
Good. Please call me Isabel.
Sure.
Hey, where are you coming? Where are you right now in the world?
I am in Australia. I'm in Victoria, so down south, and it's we're just coming out of our last frost, so it's a little bit chilly.
Yes, it's chilly here in New Zealand too. We're almost into, well, we have started spring, right?
Yeah, it's spring, but we had a surprise frost. Who knew?
Yeah. I was doing the rebounder this morning, getting ready, getting my exercise done, just
Yep.
getting exercise done before we start the day. And I
Yep.
was doing the rebounder, and oh my gosh, it was hailing outside. And then it was
Oh, no.
sunny, and then it was hailing, and then it was sunny. I was like, okay, I get you, weather. Hey, how about if I introduce you to our listeners today? Is
I
that
would
okay?
love that. That
All
would
right.
be
Now,
great.
I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of your introduction, because I want you to share your story. What an
No
amazing.
problem.
All right, great. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Isabel. Welcome to the MD and Chef team. Today, I have Magic Barclay, who is the lead practitioner at Wholistic Natural Health Australia and the host of the podcast, A Magical Life: Health, Wealth, and Weight Loss. Magic's life changed when she faced multiple life-threatening conditions. She then decided to find the root cause of her health issues, and that set her on a path of life-changing learning. That really is a lot of everybody's story, isn't it? Like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me, and they're
Now
not
what?
figuring it
Yeah.
Now, how am I going to get this figured out? Magic helps mainly women aged 45 to 65 who feel unheard or misled by the mainstream medicine, or anyone who wants to bring their health back to basics by treating the root cause and the systems of the body. She is also a master practitioner in mold toxicity recovery. Holy moly, that is intense. Personally, she is a mom of 2 amazing human beings and 2 gorgeous fur babies. I love that. And a grower of organic food for her family, and passionate about native gardening. Love it.
Thank
Well,
you.
welcome. Well, I know it's early there. I know it's only 7:00 in the morning, but could you tell us what's gone on? What happened to you? And tell us your story.
Sure. Well, for years I never felt well, and I was going to doctors and they were just telling me I was making it up. I was attention seeking, something's always wrong with you, like, go away kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was super morbidly obese. I'm a very short person. I'm 5'3", 5'4", somewhere about there. And I looked like I'd swallowed a cow, like seriously. It was all central. I didn't know what that meant back then, right? So I just thought, well, big is big. We use the F word. I was fat. And I didn't know that where that weight was important, because no one told me. The whole time I was going to the doctors, they're saying, eat less, move more. So I did. I went on all these diets. And of course, every time I dropped weight, it brought friends back in for a party. And I opened my own gym because I thought, well, exercise is the way to go. And I was smashing out 3-hour-a-day workouts and going nowhere. Still had central adipose tissue or obesity. I'd lost a lot of the rest of it, but I still had like a big floaty around the middle. And so I thought, no, something's not right. Anyway, had to close my gym, move towns, marriage breakup, all that kind of thing. And with all the stress, the extra stress, wham, I was stopped in my tracks. I was so unwell that the stuff I'd been through for the past 15 years looked like, playing in the snowflakes, basically. And I found a GP straight out of college and I said, something's going on. I think it's my thyroid. I've been saying this now for 15 years. And he goes, I think you're right. And I was like, what? You think I'm right? I'm right about something? I'm not making it up. Okay. And so he said, but I actually don't know enough. Let's do some testing. Let's find out. And so he gave me the label. And I say gave me the label because I don't believe in diagnoses. He gave me the label of Cushing's syndrome. And he goes, there's something more sinister here. There's a tumor somewhere. So, we did all the testing. I was very much a believer of mainstream medicine back then. And, it was like, hail to the GP. No offense to all the GPs. But, this guy did take me seriously. And we did find that I had a cancer. And I hadn't been well for the past 15 years. Things were leading up to it. And he said, now we've got this added problem of Cushing's. Your adrenals are done. They are spent. And I said, well, I've looked into cortisol and where my weight is cortisol weight. And he goes, yeah, you're right. I was like, oh no. So,
and for the listeners listening, that central obesity, or no, that weight between our breasts and our hips, that's central obesity. And you really need to, whenever I see somebody like that now, you and I both know because of what we've been trained, their adrenals are responding to stress. That's all stress weight. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt. I just kind of want to help that's an people understand.
Distinction to make. So it's very different to what I'd been told, which was move more, eat less, because that was actually causing more weight. So when you put yourself on a diet and when you exercise like a demon because you were told to, because, that's the way it is for weight, that actually increases that weight that I was trying to get rid of. So, everything was starting to drop into place. So anyway, I was stage 4 cancer by the time we found it. It had been there a while and my losing my voice all the time, not being able to swallow, not being able to enjoy anything, crazy endocrine mood swings, that couldn't be explained by anything else. Well, we had the explanation for all of those symptoms. So moving forward, I was going through my divorce and had to have surgery. I didn't want it. I wanted to go the natural route. I wanted to look into functional medicine. But the court system basically told me, you have the surgery or lose the kids. Like, you have a choice here.
Wow.
So I did. And then I said, right, I've had the surgery. Now I'm walking away. So that's when I threw myself into functional medicine and really looking at the systems of the body, and everything I'd been through fell into place. It was like so many light bulb moments went off that the whole sky was illuminated. Right. And I realized what I had been hearing from my body all the time and trying to tell the doctors, my body was trying to tell me what was happening. And it was a matter of listen to those whispers before they become the screams. So now that's what I do. Unfortunately, I do have complications from that forced surgery. And so I actually have this extra padding under my chin, you could say.
And that's from?
So I have lymphedema from the surgery.
Okay. Yeah. And where was the cancer?
The cancer was in my thyroid.
Oh, yes. Okay. So it was a thyroid.
It had spread to my lymph nodes. So I was left with lymphedema post-surgery, hypoxia, because the way they put my neck back together post-surgery, cause some stenosis. So for the listeners, that pulls all the bones together, all the vertebrae in your neck. And so that crushes my airways a fair bit, crushes my nerves. So, I'm dealing with some issues, but again, what is the cause? That's what I treat. So now I have a thriving functional health practice, and I teach my clients how to treat those whispers that are coming up. Don't ignore them. If you think something's not right, something's not right. Listen to your body.
I know. And if you're not getting answers from mainstream medicine, please search, because there is an answer.
There is. And you know what? Our bodies are amazing. They want us to be alive. They want us to be safe. They want us to be able to enjoy our life and have children and grandchildren and, frolic in the waves at the beach. Sorry, I just saw Isabel's website a minute ago, so that came to my mind. And, our bodies want us to enjoy our lives. It's not a matter of our body's trying to kill us. So when we hear about things like autoimmune, mainstream medicine say that's your immune system turning on you. It's trying to take you down. No, it's trying to find a safe place and a safe way of being for you. And we really have to start appreciating our bodies. Do I wish I didn't have 5 chins? Sure. But at the moment, that's the way it is for my body to keep me safe. So I have to go, okay, I get you. I don't like looking at you, but I get you. And that's okay.
Are you doing rebounding at all?
I am. I actually have my rebounder just behind my computer.
Oh, good job. Yeah. Good job. Hey, listen, I wanted to ask you, what is the PNEI of trauma? Now, PNEI stands for psycho, neuro, endo, immune. But what can you kind of like explain to the audience? What does that mean and what do you do?
Sure. So I learned about this reading Dr. Gabor Mate's book, When the Body Says No. And when he wrote that book, it was just emerging as a theory. And so I've really thrown myself there, and I actually teach other practitioners about it. So what is it? Well, it's the link between what we feel and think from our limbic center of our brain. So the central part of your brain. So you have 3 parts of your brain. So it's what we feel and think. It's emotions and it's behaviors that we create that can actually cause a nervous system response. So these 4 systems that I'm about to mention are critically linked to keep you safe. Remember, I said before, your body wants you alive, right? So we think and feel something usually from a trauma. Now, it can be from a childhood trauma. It can be from a car accident yesterday. It can be from anything. It doesn't have to be chronic or acute. It can be from both. And so we think or feel something, and then our nervous system responds. And when the nervous system responds, it calls in the endocrine system to back it up. So that's your hormone system. Okay. And then when all of this is going on, the immune system goes, wow, there's all this stuff happening. There's excess hormones. It could be cortisol, your stress hormone. It could be estrogen. The nervous system's not happy. That's really important because it's a major messenger system of the body. So the immune system says, I'm just going to shut you down. You need to stop. And a really good demonstration of this, it's a little bit silly, but it kind of shows you how these 4 work together, is imagine getting on a stage to talk to 30,000 people. Okay. And you don't normally like public speaking, right?
I love public speaking.
I do, but for the example, we're going to say we don't like public speaking.
That's right.
We're going to get on a stage, 30,000 people. And, you've got 5 minutes to prep your speech, right? So you're really stressed. So what are you thinking? You might be thinking, I don't like talking to 30,000 people. I don't know my topic well enough. What if I forget my notes? Maybe I'm not good enough for this. So the P has come in. The limbic brain is putting all these thoughts and emotions there, right? You might just want to cry and you can't because you've got your makeup done. And so, you're trying to hold it in, trying to be strong.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you might go, oh, my foot hurts, my back hurts. What's going on? I can't feel my fingers. So your nervous system's jumping in and it's sending pain responses to keep you safe. It's trying to slow you down because it knows these thoughts that's going on in the P, right? That doesn't stop you because you still got to give the speech. So the N goes, all right, E, endocrine, jump in. All of a sudden you're sweating buckets, you're hot, you're red, you're clammy, you're sticky, you're like, I can't go on the stage. I feel like I've just come out of a sauna, and my heart's beating really fast. And what's going on? So the E's trying to keep you safe. Now the I just says, look, guys, come on. You've got to stop this. All of a sudden you're about to walk onto the stage and you're like, oh, I feel like I've got laryngitis coming on. Oh no, my nose is dripping. What is going on? So your I is saying, now you need to have an immune response because you're not safe. There's 30,000 tigers out there facing you, about to leap on you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a really silly example, but it shows you how they all work in together. Right. And we can ignore all the others, but we can't ignore the immune system, because when we ignore it long enough, we do end up with autoimmunes or multiple autoimmunes. So, this is where this system works in, and it can be from as little as when you were like 3 and, someone told you, maybe, a parent might say, what you have to say isn't important right now. No one needs to hear from you. Right? They could be having a fight. You don't know they're having a fight. They've got their own thing. You hear that, you make it mean something. And this can keep snowballing for decades.
Mm-hmm. Like nobody wants to hear from me. I have nothing to say. Yeah. And then you get into the shy, you're hiding, you hide, because my parents said that, yeah, I know. Or it could easily even be, I just have a friend whose experiences 2 years ago had a tough time getting a job, and now they're in a much better place, in the work field, but they're very unhappy. They're being abused psychologically in the workplace, but their trauma in their brain, the limbic system was like, oh no, remember what happened last time? You couldn't find a job. You're safe here, stay here. But it's like an abused person, in a marriage. You know what it is, what you're going to get, but you just keep on living in that area. And yeah, you're right. Your body wants to keep you safe. Even if it's not safe, but at least
so even if
all the parameters.
Exactly. Even if that means complete inaction. And I can say that because for 14 years, I was not in a safe marriage. So I was in what we call analysis paralysis. I couldn't make a decision either way because, do you know what? I wasn't dead yet. So 14 years in an unsafe household was the safest option for me because I didn't know what else to do. And, being told for so long, you'll never survive without me, it kind of makes something in your brain happen. Mm-hmm. And so, for your friend who's, in a job that they're unhappy with, that analysis paralysis will kick in because you have to stay safe and you're not dead yet. So your body just makes that mean this could be a safe place. Right. And how many times are we all in that situation?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we really, that's why it's so important to be talking about this. The limbic system is a ruler, because it wants to keep you safe, and it's got all its friends involved, the endocrine system, the immune system.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I learned about the limbic system the hard way, and holy moly, has it changed my life. I wanted to ask you another question. Why? I mean, you and I both know this, but I like to educate people here at MD and Chef Team. Why do we need to work on the root causes? Like, why is this so important?
Yeah, well, sorry, mainstream medicine, but I don't like your treating with reductionism and treating the symptom, because the symptom is just a message. So why do we treat root cause?
Well, I like that. The symptom is a message.
It's just a message.
Yeah, very good.
So, okay, imagine, I love these analogies. Sorry, I get carried away with them.
That's fine.
Imagine you've cut yourself. Now, this is going to be a little bit gross, okay? Sorry, people. But you've cut yourself on your foot, maybe the side of your foot, and it's a pretty deep cut, and you put a Band-Aid on it. in your mind, you're like, maybe this needs stitches. Maybe I need to clean the area. But you're like, nah, I need to go swimming. It's a beautiful day. I want to go to the swimming pool. I'm going to put a Band-Aid on it, right? You're not treating the actual root cause. You're treating the symptom, which is covering up the cut, okay? Stop it bleeding everywhere. So put a Band-Aid on, you go to the swimming pool, right? And you know this is going to get gross. And you jump in and you're having a great time. You're ignoring the fact that you've got this gash in the side of your foot and the Band-Aid comes off. And it's now one of those yucky Band-Aids on the bottom of the pool. We've all seen them, let's face it.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there, right? And you're like, oh, Band-Aid came off. Put another one on. Not a problem. The glue starts lifting a bit and, you know, you've done with the swimming. You've left a Band-Aid in the pool and you go to put your shoes and socks on and the corner of this new Band-Aid is lifting up because the glue's just not holding it all together. Your foot's still bleeding, right? Now you're starting to give it an infection in there because you went swimming and you changed Band-Aids and, you know, yada, yada. The cut is still there. So what treating with reductionism is, as mainstream medicine does, is it's just putting the Band-Aid on. Stop the bleeding from bleeding everywhere. You can enjoy your life. Everything's great. Just keep putting new Band-Aids on. All right. But when we look at holism and when we're treating the root cause, we are looking at what started the bleeding, which is the symptom. Oh, there's a cut there. We need to fix the cut. We need to clean the area. We need to make sure there's no infection in the cut. So by treating the root cause, your foot's going to stop bleeding. But if you just keep changing Band-Aids, that gash is still there. That cut is still there. So that's kind of, you know, a bit of a pictorial view of what root cause is. So when it comes to bigger things in our body, like an autoimmune disorder or, you know, like cortisol toxicity or any number of things, if we don't treat the root cause, our body finds ways to tell us what is going on. Okay.
I know.
So with my cortisol weight, losing the weight wasn't the answer. Treating why my cortisol was high was the answer.
And what was the cause of your high cortisol? Your stressful life?
Stress junkie.
Yeah. Your marriage too, right?
Well, not just marriage, but narcissistic parents and, you know, being estranged from my brother and childhood trauma. So this was all still there. Losing the weight by running on a treadmill and lifting weights. Yeah. Okay, good for me, but not actually addressing the past 40 years of what had happened.
And the story you must have been telling yourself during all that time, like,
yeah.
I mean, I can imagine.
It was my fault. The whole thing, I thought it was my fault.
Right, right.
So, you know,
I get
this is why we need to treat the root cause, because if you don't, things are going to keep happening.
Amen. Amen. And also let's stop cutting the side of our feet. You know, let's avoid that from happening. And you learn that by dealing with the root cause.
Yeah.
And then you also help women reinvent themselves after the age of 40. Tell us a little bit about that. How do you do that? First of all, how young are you?
I am 50.
Yay!
So I had my 50th birthday this year.
Right. You look great. You do not look 50 at all.
Thank you.
And the story that you've got for the rest of your life, you know, do you see like living, how old do you want to live to be? What do you see your story being?
Yeah, look, I see myself well into my 80s. And just to give the listeners a bit of an idea, 6 years ago, I had a year to live, according to mainstream medicine. So I don't believe that. I'm going to be at least in my 80s. Where do I see myself? I see myself on a farm with my kids and my grandkids, and we're all working from our permaculture farm, and I'm still in health, and I've got one kid that does computer game coding, and he's still doing that, and another one is an animal keeper. So, you know, we're all doing that from our happy place. And I can't wait to be a grandma. But anyway, keep dropping hints. They're just not listening to me yet.
Yeah, anyway. Well, it's their timing.
I know.
Not ours. So tell us, how do you help women reinvent themselves? Because something does happen in our 40s. We're like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I don't want to do this for the rest of I want to do something different.
exactly. So with coaching, so with results coaching and with treating root cause of health issues, you can reinvent yourself and you can find out truly who you are. And this is, I think, something as women we've lost. I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. And, you know, it was a very androgynous time. It's not like the 50s, a woman is a woman and, you know, here's your life. We were actually taught to start questioning our lives, and we don't have to be in the kitchen and with the apron on, and that's great. You know, either side is great. Whatever floats your boat is great. But I think now, as women of the 70s and 80s particularly, and I can say it because I'm that person, we get to our 40s and we're like, oh, is this all there is? What now?
Yeah.
The kids are growing up, marriage might be over, maybe it's not, and that's great, good for you. But things are changing, things are shifting. And I think as women, you know, for so long we've been told be of service to others and maybe don't be of service to yourself. And I think this is where we need to make this distinction, as we need to come first. And I'm saying this because it took me 40 years, or 40 plus 45 years. You know, it was only 5 years ago that I learned this, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are not okay, you can't make everyone else okay. I was just going and going and going, making sure everyone else was okay. And people would say, Magic, who are you? I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I'm a teacher and I'm this and I'm that. No, but who are you? I had no idea. So, you know, this is through results coaching, we can get this. Who are you? Right. So in my bio, I said I'm a grower of organic food and a native gardener, and I'm still a mum. But what I actually am is someone who now appreciates what my body is telling me. I may not like what it's telling me at the moment, but I appreciate it. And I'm someone who can listen to my inner being. And I'm someone who can shut my business down for the day to go and sit in the sun because that's what I want to do. You know, and I'm someone who
without feeling guilty, without the inner critic going, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be helping people.
Exactly. Actually, I did this yesterday. I closed my office down for the day. It was Sunday here. And I actually had some paperwork I needed to do for this week. And I thought, do you know what? It was Monday, actually. Sorry. I'm actually just going to go for a drive in my car and go to the bush. And so that's what I did. I walked around in the sun, in the Australian bush, went on a road trip.
Nice.
My kids were calling me like, where are you? You're supposed to be in the office today. And I'm like, no, I'm having a me day. This is who I am. I am someone who wants to walk in the sun, in the bush. And so we need to learn how to do that. And so, as I said, through coaching and through treating root cause of illness, we can detach from those labels, detach from those diagnoses. We are not our autoimmune. We are not our thyroid cancer. We are not our cortisol issues. You know, we are a living, breathing organism that has joys and needs and wants, and that's what we need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And you help women find that.
Definitely.
And start expressing that in their lives, because you're right. We are raised to serve.
Yeah. And you know, if you want cortisol issues, that's the way to go.
That's the way to do it.
Keep being of service to everyone else and forget about yourself.
Oh, I know.
And your adrenals will match you. They will see that bet and they will raise it.
I have to confess, I did a Dutch test on myself, and oh my gosh, I was so scared. My cortisol levels were almost flat, almost. It took me 1.5 years to get that back to normal. So I just want to say, listen to your body. Don't stress yourself out. And if you are stressed, get help. See Magic. Well, we're going to land this plane now. And when we land this plane, I'd love for you to give our listeners 3 action steps that they can start implementing right away baby steps that they can start using?
Okay, 3 action steps. First of all, what do you feel like doing today? Right? You may be having to work, maybe having to cook for the family. Put all that aside. What do you feel like doing today? If that means you feel like sitting in the park and talking to the birds, well, if you have to be at work, you've got a lunch break. So you can still sit in the park and talk to the birds. Okay. If that means you want to go for a walk and the kids have to have takeaway because you're off for a walk, go have the walk. That's not going to kill them to get, burgers for a night. Like, don't worry about it. They'll survive.
Yeah.
But you might not. So go for the walk. Okay.
Right.
So what do you feel like doing today is the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Establish who you are. What are the things that you stand for? What are your golden values that keep you going? So for me, mine are my family, nurturing myself, nature. So they're the things that I strive for every day. My family's only happy when I'm happy. I can tell you, a grumpy Magic walking around the house because she hasn't nurtured herself.
Yeah.
These guys are walking on eggshells.
I know.
Because
Happy
they
mom,
know.
happy life.
Yeah, they know I will bite their head off if I see one bit of dirt on the floor, not because the dirt's on the floor, but because I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing to land this plane, right, is be in touch with you. Now, it sounds like the others, but it's not. It's really work out what makes you you, because you are unique. And this is the point I'm getting to. You cannot go by what other people are telling you. You cannot go by comparing yourself to others. You need to know why you're unique. And, sometimes that uniqueness can get in the way. I know for myself, I can be polarizing to some people. That's not my problem. I am unique. I am, this mixture of thoughts and feelings and cells and, all this great stuff that makes me me. So really hold on to that uniqueness. Is that even a word? It is now. And really cherish who you are. Hold on to you.
Yeah, very good. Really good points. So the 3 action steps are, what do you feel like doing today, and do it for yourself. 2 is establish who you are. And one of the good ways of doing that is writing it down. Who are you? And write down, I am, because underlining that word am actually increases the chances of you becoming that. You may not be that, but you are becoming that and who you want to be. And then number 3 is be in touch with you. Yeah. Like this morning, I always have, that's so good. Like this morning, I always have time reading the Bible. I love the Bible. And I was reading it and I said, I need something that I can focus on today. And for me, being in touch with what I need for my life for today is I needed a word. And the word that came to me was patient endurance. So that for me is my medicine. Those words fill me. That's in my heart to help me through the day. Because you and I are real go-getters and we want to like get it done and get it done now. And why is it taking so long? Right. So yeah, be in touch with yourself. Absolutely. I love that.
Totally. And just for the listeners, before we go, if you do these things, your body will see you. It will match you. If you don't do these things, we've spoken about cortisol, we've spoken about adrenal burnout, your body will see you. It will match you. That is really important to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Your body is listening loud and clear. I wanted to ask, when you said that book, When the Body Says No, who was that by?
Dr. Gabor Mate.
How do you spell his surname?
Mate. It's got one of those little,
Mate.
I studied
Mate.
French, but
Yeah,
one of those things on it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Very good. That sounds good. All right. So where can people find you, Magic?
So you can find us at www.wholisticnaturalhealth.com.au. It's holistic with a W because we treat with holism. There you can book our root cause analysis, which is free. and, find out what is going on for your body. There's no obligation from there. We just want to be able to teach you what is happening in your body. You can find our blogs, our podcast, all the good stuff at the website there.
Great. And that'll be in the show notes, just so the listeners know. Well, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. I wish you a wonderful life, and I'm so proud of you, and I applaud you for figuring this out and still being on the journey of figuring things out.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for such kind, loving words.
You're welcome. All right, that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. Isabel, your host at the MD and Chef team.